Hey, joy seekers, welcome back to Find the Joy with Jen. As we step into November, it is the season when everything around us starts to change. The air gets crisp, the leaves start to fall, and life seems to invite us to slow down. It is pumpkin everything and sweater weather. I'm actually wearing socks and a sweater for the first time today, and I'm drinking out of my favorite Gigi mug, my favorite hot cocoa. So it really feels like fall as we're getting close to November. This is one of my favorite times of year to reflect on our rhythms and routines, those quiet everyday patterns that shape who we are and, more importantly, who we are becoming. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. If you're walking through divorce, going through a separation, or any major life transition, this message is for you today. Because finding your rhythm and building fresh routines isn't just about staying organized. It's about creating peace, stability, and joy in your new chapter of life. It is a natural time to take a breath, reset, and ask ourselves, am I living in rhythm with the season that I'm in? And do my routines still serve the person I am becoming? We're going to get into this. If you're new here, I'm Jen, and I help men and women of faith heal and rebuild after divorce through my Faithful Divorce Coaching Program and my podcast, Find the Joy with Jen, and here on my YouTube channel. If that's something you need in your life, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any videos that can help you find peace, hope, and joy again in your life. So let's get into it. Why this season matters so much. This time of year naturally calls us to recenter. Whether or not you have kids in school, there's something about the fall that just feels like a fresh new beginning. But for many of you watching, especially if you're walking through separation, divorce, or any major challenge in your life, this season may not feel fresh, and it might feel really uncertain and messy and heavy and hard. I get that. When your life suddenly shifts, all of your usual rhythms and routines just disappear. They're thrown out the window. What used to be predictable, meals and schedules and weekends, even your emotional flow is just gone. You may not be sleeping well, probably aren't taking the best care of yourself. You might even be waking up in the middle of the night or way too early in the morning, asking yourself, who am I right now? I have been there, my friends, and I know how disorienting it feels when the life you built suddenly looks nothing like what it did before or what you ever expected it to. But here is the truth. This is also the perfect time for you to begin creating new rhythms, new patterns that align with your healing and the future you want to have. You get to decide what your new normal looks like. And that starts with your routines, the simple, repeated actions that help your days flow and your mind stay grounded. So let's break down what I mean by rhythms and routines. What comes to mind for you when I say rhythms and routines? Does it feel different from saying habits and goals? It does for me. Rhythms and routines are ongoing systems of your life, not something that you set once a year and then forget about. They're your everyday patterns, how you think, how you move, how you live. You already have them, whether they are intentional or not. Our brains actually love routines. Our brains are wired this way to help us survive. So once you do something repeatedly, your brain automatically moves to it on autopilot, freeing up other mental energy to do other things. That's why you can drive to work and barely even remember how you got there, right? You don't have to think about it once you know it so well. The key is to make sure that the routines running on autopilot in your life are serving you and not sabotaging you. That's what we're talking about today. So there is so much power that comes from awareness and just making small shifts. Rhythms and routines are the patterns and the practices of our lives, and you have them whether they are intentional or not. Becoming aware of your patterns, your default thoughts, and daily habits is how you begin to change your life. Because if you're operating on autopilot, you'll just keep repeating the same thoughts, feelings, actions, and results that you've always had. But small adjustments in your thinking, practiced consistently, can lead to huge transformations. Divorce changes everything about your life. And while that is painful, it's also the perfect opportunity for you to rewrite your patterns. Now is the ideal time to build new thought routines that lead to more peace, confidence, and healing in your life. When I think about the word routine, I can't help but think of dance. I grew up dancing and cheerleading and then later became a fitness instructor. So I still remember the songs that went with certain routines. Even decades later, my body and my mind remember those moves. Isn't that wild? That's how powerful routines are. They create strong muscle memory in your body and in your mind. When I was teaching body flow at Gold's Gym years ago, I would put my kids to bed and then put in my DVDs to learn the new routines, the new choreography with the music that would come out every 3 months and practice it over and over again. The movement with the cues in the music until it just became second nature. And guess what? Even years later, those patterns have stayed stored in my brain, ready to recall. When one of those songs come on, I can still remember the choreography. That is exactly how your thoughts work, my friend. When you practice a new way of thinking, you're forming new neural pathways in your brain. At first, they're weak, but with repetition, say 21 days of practice, those pathways strengthen and become automatic. So here's my challenge for you. Choose one new thought that helps you feel peace or hope and practice it every day for 21 days. This is something that I do with my clients regularly. I want you to try it out. You're literally rewiring your brain to think in healthier, more joyful ways. So let me tell you a little bit more about the 21-day challenge and the faith connection. Most social science research agrees that 21 days is the ideal window to build a new habit. It's long enough for your brain to adapt and short enough to actually finish. So pick a mantra, something like, God is guiding me even in this, or peace is possible for me, or I am learning to love my life again. Choose any mantra that you want to believe. It has to be something believable to you. So choose a statement that you believe or you want to believe, okay? And then practice it. Say it out loud at least 3 times a day. Write it down, save it as your phone screensaver, pray about it, feel it in your body, think about it in your mind. When your thinking shifts, your feelings will change. And when your feelings change, then the actions follow. It's like adding fuel to the fire. That's how fast your healing accelerates once you start thinking differently. So, let's talk about finding your rhythm again. Rhythm is a strong, steady beat, a pattern that keeps time. And our lives have rhythms too. Right now, you might be entering in a slower, quieter season, one where God is inviting you to rest, reflect, and rebuild. Or maybe you're in a season of new beginnings, ready to move, grow, and create again. There is power in tuning in to the natural rhythm of your life and flowing with it instead of fighting against it. Have you ever watched couples dancing competitions, or are you watching Dancing with the Stars? I've gotten hooked on it and gotten my husband to join me, and we're loving it this season. The most beautiful moments are when both partners move perfectly in sync with each other and the music. Not rushing, not dragging, just moving together in harmony. That's what it looks like when you find your rhythm with your life again. Now, there are seasons in our lives and there are seasons of divorce. Each season serves a purpose to grow, to refine you, to teach you something new. Some are warm and beautiful, and others are cold and difficult. If you're ready to understand these stages and learn how to navigate them with grace, I want to invite you to check out my course, Finding Joy in the Seasons of Divorce. This is a standalone, self paced course that walks you through the emotional, spiritual seasons of divorce. And it teaches you how to navigate each one with faith, hope, and purpose. It's the perfect place to start if you're ready to find peace and start living with more clarity. You can find it on my website, and I'll also link it in the show notes. I'm not going to talk more about it here, but I would really encourage you to check it out. So, before we wrap up, I want to take a moment and think about these two questions. What routine will you start today? What is one thought or one mantra that you can practice for the next 21 days? Are you moving with or against the rhythm of your life right now? If things feel hard and frustrating, maybe it's because you're trying to move faster than this season is allowing. Instead of resisting, try to step in time with it. Trust that God is working in the background, even if you can't see it. The rhythms and routines you create aren't meant to restrict you. They're meant to bring you ease and peace and freedom, my friend. If this message has spoken to you, please like this video and subscribe and share it with someone who could use the reminder that God still has a plan for their life, even in the seasons of divorce. And I would love to hear from you, friend. Drop a comment below and tell me, what new routine or rhythm are you choosing this season? I would love to hear your thoughts and cheer you on. And remember, friend, God's timing is perfect. Every season has a purpose. You are exactly where you need to be to grow and heal and find joy again. So keep seeking joy, my friend, and I will see you next week. Bye, y'all.